want you to just close your eyes for a couple of seconds and visualize this word rural. What kind of images come to your mind? I would think you would get something like this. This is what I get. You will see people working largely in agriculture, no tech anywhere, abject poverty, and lots of unemployed youth. Now, this scene is something that I see very often of youth huddled around a chai shop in the middle of an afternoon, doing nothing. If you zoom in on one of these faces, you'll probably also visualize somebody like this. If again we were to ask you, what do you think this person is? You'll probably say that this guy is probably never been to school, does not have any skills, works as a cowherd or a daily wage laborer, earns about 10 rupees a day. There are millions of youngsters like this in the country. Right? Incidentally, there's a guy called Ramesh. So Ramesh has never ever been to school, never held a pencil in his life, works as a cowherd, 12 siblings, none of them have been to school, earns about 10 rupees a day picking groundnuts in some village beyond Raichur. In my past life at Meritrack, if you had asked me, and as India's largest skills assessment company, we had done a lot of employability studies. If you had asked me saying, hey, can Ramesh ever be employable, right? I would have said, no way, right? Impossible. The employability in graduates itself is 20%. And what do you do with a kid like this? I would have probably held that view if I had not met my friends Sunil, Savara, Rajesh Bhatt, and Shamik, and a lot of other colleagues who had decided to do a wild experiment. They were trying to set up a rural knowledge center, a rural BPO. And they took this challenge at the extreme of unemployability. They said, what if we took a person like Ramesh? What if we taught him English, math, computer skills? And what if we got him employed in a rural BPO? Is that an answer to eradicating rural poverty? I was fascinated by that hypothesis because in my heart I said, no way, it's not possible, right? But they said, hey, see what's happening, right? So they went around villages around Karnataka, trying to talk to kids like Ramesh, trying to convince them to come, and it was quite a mad conversation to have, that come with us to Bangalore, we don't know what we're going to do with you, we're going to teach you something, we don't know how long it's going to take, maybe you'll be worse off by the time you come back from the training program, but come with us. 8 kids decided that it's worth a shot, including Ramesh. Got them to Bangalore, put them up in a house, hired a BPO trainer and said, teach him English. The BPO trainer vanished during lunch. He said, you must be mad. I mean, I can't train graduates in Bangalore. You expect me to train people like this? Impossible. Sunil, Rajesh, and a few others said, let's kind of do it ourselves. So started figuring out the training mechanism on the fly. The idea was to teach them all knowledge economy skills. And the program was very immersive, very intense. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't go home till you've learned. And they were all staying together, right? And slowly but surely, with the intensity and the dedication and the passion that these kids had, the transformation started happening. Same Ramesh at the end of 7 months.
I'm Ramesh from Raichur. When I was in my village, I did not know how to write even my name in Kannada. In my village, I always wore dhoti. I never traveled on the bus. I did not know what's the time and what's the watch. I knew only 2 things: go to farm or sunrise, came back home or sunset. I had never visited a city. I did not know about city life. When I first came to Bangalore, I could not speak to anyone. And I also scared to touch a computer. When I started to learn in English, I was so scared because I did not know how to write ABCD. After these 7 months, I can type minimum at 40 words per minute. A month ago, I went to my village for my brother's wedding. My mother told me, please sir, come and have a seat. She did not recognize me. She asked, "Who are you?" I told her, "I am Ramesh, your son." As she didn't believe. Then I showed my ID card on which earlier photo was there. She looked at the photo for a while and hugged. And after the every moment she cried with the tears of happiness. I never can forget that experience. Thank you.
I still get goosebumps when I see this video because this meeting, this interaction with Ramesh changed my life. Saying how wrong we all were, right? We have a lens. We look at people in a lens and say, you're employable, you're not. And I realized that the problem was with the lens, not with what we were seeing out there, right? And this journey for Ramesh has been fascinating. 0 to 18 years, if we look at his career graph, working as a cowherd, not even knowing how to read Kannada, now working in a BPO as a team leader, right? Doing knowledge economy work in a village. He called us last month and said, "Sir, I'm learning AutoCAD," right? And that's the power, right? We subsequently thought 8, we said, let's test this hypothesis out further. Maybe 8 was an aberration, maybe we got lucky, maybe our people that we were inspiring enough, but how does it scale? So we went back to the villages. By the time all these kids were heroes in this village, we got 120 people signing up for a program. We hired trainers who never trained before, so fresh graduates from the region, ran a train the trainer program on them, and in 2010, we trained 120 kids on this methodology. End of 2010, 113 of them had graduated, and on a Ramesh scale of 1 to 10, all of them had reached 7, and we had a lot of people at the 10 level as well. So we were able to prove that you could take a bunch of people who had never been to school or minimal schooling, school dropouts. In the villages, you can't make out the difference between a 4th grade dropout, an 8th grade dropout, and a 0 educated villager, right? Because it means that you showed up 4 or 8 times in school, right? And we were able to prove that by using trainers who never trained before, you could affect transformation and find jobs in villages in terms of rural BPO and other knowledge services jobs, right? In the last 3 years, we've been doing a lot of extensive work in 3 districts, and my view of rural has changed. The rural that we thought it was is not the old rural anymore. We see it's characterized by 4 things. One is raw talent hungry for opportunities. What you see are the photographs of our trainees in Koppal, in Gadag, in Indupur, and each of the trainees have lived up to their dreams of transforming themselves. None of our trainees come with speaking any word of English. They wouldn't have even seen a computer. As Ramesh said, never got onto a bus, and they're confident, comfortable in the knowledge services economy. So it proves that there is hungry talent looking for opportunities. Second thing that we've seen is an indomitable entrepreneurial spirit. This is Manjunath. We just visited him 3 days ago in a village which is about 100 miles away from Hubli. 12th standard dropout, didn't know what to do. Somebody told him, hey, if you attend a carpentry course, you'll do something. He went and did that. He liked wood designing. He came and did a wood design course from Bangalore. Now runs a small furniture shop in a place called Abagere, which is quite near Gadag, right? And if you speak to him, you will see his spirit shining through saying, sir, I want to open a furniture showroom in every other village across, and I want to sell good quality furniture to my village youth and brethren, right? And you realize when you start talking to him that entrepreneurs are exposed to so much of risks and so little opportunities that if you can change the equation, entrepreneurial spirit will start creating jobs in the villages. And creation of jobs in the rural areas is one of the toughest challenges that we are struggling with. We actually did a village entrepreneur forum. We got about 200 people coming and listening to people, to Mr. Vijay Sankeshwar, who's an icon in that region. And they sat with rapt attention saying, what do I do to grow my business? The third thing that we're seeing is global aspirations. There was a recent report that said that Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns are fueling the growth of e-commerce boom in the country. We actually ran a survey on 500 families in villages and asked them, what do you really want? And when you took the results and compared it to similar surveys done in cities, you couldn't make out the difference. Their aspirations are the same. They want to send their kids to good schools. They want the next smartphone or the LED TV or whatever, right? And they want security, food security, job security, whatever, right? So aspirations are similar. And lastly, information access is a leveler. I mean, there's been enough stories about how the mobile phone boom is happening, how TV penetration is there in every other part of the country, and how now tablets will probably unleash another wave in itself, right? If you start putting all these four aspects and start developing an image of raw talent, of entrepreneurial spirit, of aspirations, and information access, you get a new rural youth. And for me, whenever I see negative connotations of rural, the moment I say rural, people say, oh, no power, no infrastructure, no talent, no jobs, what's happening? So much so that we decided we will not call them rural anymore. Right? We said we'll invent a new term, and we're calling it as Rubans, rural urbans. Right? And therefore, in our terminology, it's changed completely. They're no longer rural, they're Rubans. And we believe that we are seeing Rubanomics at play everywhere. It's only that we're not recognizing it. So our endeavor is, if we can recognize the forces driving rural prosperity, Ruban prosperity, and looking at how Rubanomics can be built, can be brought to the forefront, and you can create newer economic models to bring rural prosperity to life. And that's what we believe, that by the power of education, by the power of technology, you can unleash the Ruban talent, and that's what Head is about unleashing rural prosperity by unleashing the power of Rubans through platforms for talent transformation and employment creation. There are three equations that's at play here. Equation one is English, computer skills, math plus logic plus confidence equals skills. That's where the training angle comes into place. How do you then get rural jobs by leveraging agri, financial inclusion, healthcare, consumer, education, and BPO? What can you create where this talent can be used to deliver services to the villages, therefore improving the village and, of course, generating jobs? And it leads us to the third equation, which all of us heard during the budget. The Economic Survey of India spoke about how skilling rural youth and finding jobs is the most important priority for the country. We believe that if we solve these two equations, and finding rural jobs is the tougher part of the equation, we will be able to drive prosperity to the Rubans. We are trying to envisage setting up Ruban hubs, in a village, in a district. How can you have hubs in agri, finance, financial inclusion, healthcare, education, so on and so forth? How do you interface with the world? How do you get the jobs coming in? And then the magic starts happening when you start connecting these Ruban hubs globally itself on a global network of Ruban hubs across the country, across not just India, but across the world. We also believe that it will happen in phases. Phase one is get the model right phase, where we're trying to get to 10,000 Rubans. Phase two is when you get to 100,000 Rubans and get the scale right phase. And phase three is when you get to 2 million plus Rubans and get the cloning right. And as with the philosophy of this forum, you need an idea, which is what we're trying to build. You need to build scalable proof, and then the only way it'll grow is to convert this to a movement. Right? And that's what we are working towards. We believe that by doing this, a lot of Rubans will find their place under the sun. I just want to show the next stage of Ramesh. Last year we got recognized by 2 years ago we got recognized by the CNN-IBN as the Real Heroes Award. This is a clipping from CNN-IBN. If you can play the video, please.
Ramesh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 4 years ago, I had never thought of getting out of my village. Today, I am on national TV. I'm very happy to be here with all of you. 4 years ago, I didn't know how to write my name in any language. Today, I'm working in a BPO company as a team leader. My dream is to give an opportunity to all the villagers like me.
I wanted to introduce two other Rubans. Chandru and Meghraj comes from similar backgrounds, never been to school, never held a pencil in their lives, was a part of the first cohort that got into the program. Chandru and Meghraj are here with us today. May I invite Chandru and Meghraj to come on to the dais. They'll share a few words about their journey. Come.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chandru from Raichur. I have never been to school in my village. After joining this Adult High Foundation, I have learned how to read, write, and speak in English and computer skills like MS Word, MS Excel, MS Paint, and Internet Explorer, etc. At the beginning of training, I wouldn't believe that I would be learned because I did not know how to read ABCD. And we started with alphabets, and then we started reading 2-3 letter words and seeing videos and enacting the same in our own words and listening to BBC News all night, even we were sleeping, and have done many activities during the training. After completing the 8 months of our training, we got a work in BPO and started working as a data entry executive. And currently, I'm working as a team leader. And my roadmap ahead is to teach people in village who are just like me as I am earlier, and enable them to live a life with respect and dignity. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Meghraj Mantri. I came from remote village Gule, which is in Koppal district, Karnataka. I had never been to school in my village. I used to do farming work and grazing buffalo in the village. When I joined Head, I was not knowing how to speak in English. I was not knowing how to use an computer. So I have learned first A to Z. So then, the first time when I touched the computer, I pressed some button. Screen on the monitor turned upside down. I was very scared. Told our facilitator I did not touch anything. Strong desire of learning everything became possible to me. Today I am working as a team leader in our village BPO company. Thank you.
These stories continues to inspire us every day. They're the reason why we live our life with our head held high. Our inspiration has been this immortal poem by Sri Tagore, which inspires us every day, every minute. And I believe that like the Green Revolution, like the White Revolution, we are at the cusp of the Ruban Revolution, where every Ruban will live with his head held high. Thank you so much.